this topic earlier? Look here, very easy topic. First, can you draw the atmospheric circulation winds, only winds on the earth? If this is your equator, ठीक है, Tropic of Cancer, Arctic Circle, Tropic of Capricorn, Antarctic Circle. So here you have easterlies, and this is the belt of westerlies, and this is the belt of. Are you clear with this? Any doubts here? This is very, very basic. We have done. Next. So how will the water in the Atlantic Ocean move here? They also follow the path of the winds. That means this is how. Right? So where do you see upwelling? This is point A, point B. Where do you see upwelling? Point A. At upwelling, do you have cold water or warm water? You have cold water. In the normal times, this is cold, this is warm, right? These are some things that you know already. So here you had a current. What is the name of this current? West wind drift. West wind drift. It is coming from the west, and Coriolis force in the southern hemisphere is towards the left, and this is called as west wind drift. Now such kind of phenomena, why the water is moving here? Why is the water moving? Because winds. Very good. The major cause of the movement of the water is winds. So look, this is your South America. Here I am drawing South America. And this is your Australia. Right? Look here. Imagine this is Tropic of Capricorn. So what kind of winds do you have here? Easterlies. And here? And here you will have Antarctic Circle. So the winds here are again easterlies. So you tell me, in the normal times, the water from here it moves and then it comes and hits the coast of Australia. This is how the water should move back, right? Am I correct? So where do you find upwelling and where do you find downwarping? This is point A, this is point B side. This is upwelling. At upwelling, what kind of water do you have? You have cold water. That means, can I say that this current is cold? If you have your atlas, open your atlas, this is cold current. Now what kind of water should be there in the Australia? Warm current. Now this is a normal circulation. Okay? This is what is the normal circulation. Now there are names that are given to these circulations. What is the name of this current which is on the western? It is called as Peruvian current or Humboldt current, both are same. Now this Peruvian current, which is cold in nature in the normal times, right? So during the times of El Nino, what happens is the global atmospheric circulation changes. Okay? Global atmospheric circulation changes means, for reasons which we do not know, even the scientific community do not know, that why the winds, they are moving slower. Okay? Instead of this part of the area which is actually having cold water. So did I not tell you, if you are having cold water, good fishing grounds will be there, upwelling is there, cold water is there. So you come to southern hemisphere, this is the time where reasons which we do not know, the entire system reverses. Entire system reverses means usually you should be having, look here, just a minute. Do you remember the concept of thermocline? Yes? Yes? What is thermocline? Yes? Thermocline is a layer where some temperature suddenly decreases or temperature suddenly varies. So, don't you think, if suppose you imagine this is your South America and this is your Australia. In the normal times, what kind of water did you have? This is cold water and upwelling, right? And this water, they rise onto the surface and they start to move in this direction, right? Now as soon as they come here, this water becomes warmer. Now this is warm water in the normal condition, and here down warping takes place. This down warping will further, the same water will come up as the upwelling. I think now you have a better picture to this. This is the depth profile, this is the surface profile, right? So here upwelling is there, nutrients are good, fishes are good, the fishing industry, people who are there, they come and fish. But for the reasons which we do not know, the entire system reverses. Why the system is reversing? The system reverses because, number one, the speed of the winds become little slower. That means, look, here the winds are moving in this direction. First thing, global atmospheric circulation disturbances have taken place. Now this happens once in every 7 to 8 years. Because of that, here you will come across the movement of the winds, right? Now these movement of the winds will also move. If the speed of these winds is lowered, will you have upwelling? Chances of the upwelling is not happening. This is called as normal condition, right? Now if the water is warm here, don't you think the water will be warm for good depth? If the water is cold here, the water depth, thermocline, do you remember there was a layer called thermocline? Don't you think there was disturbances in thermocline? Here, the depth of thermocline at this point, let me call it A, and the depth of thermocline B, at B, will they be at the same height? It will not be at the same height. Why is it not at the same height? Because water is? No. In the normal times, water here is sinking. It's not that not moving. I'm talking about normal times. In the normal times, your thermocline here, water temperature is more. That means the temperature depth of warm water will be little more. Instead of 500 meters, this warm water can be present here for 800 meters. Your thermocline you might find at 800 meters here. But here the thermocline can be found at only 400, 300, 500 meters. So can I say that wherever the warm water is there, the depth of the thermocline is little lower? Yes. Are you clear with this? Okay. This is normal condition. In the case of El Nino, what happens is, this is normal condition, upwelling, movements, sinking. So where do you have rainfall? At place A or at place B? Why A? Because here evaporation can take place. Okay? And here sinking air will be there, high pressure region, because cold water. This is warm water, so evaporation takes place. That means Australia in the normal time should receive very good rainfall. South America should have very good fishing areas. But for reasons which we do not know, ठीक है, for reasons which we do not know, the entire system reverses and this will impact India as well. ठीक है. How is this going to impact? Look, normal conditions, rainfall, normal conditions. Now let's try to understand the conditions of El Nino. During the times of El Nino, what happens is, look at this. This is normal year. Now come to El Nino year. See, can I see two cells here? One is atmospheric cell, another is ocean cell, right? So do you remember the winds that are coming to Indian Ocean? Are they coming only from Indian Ocean? They also come from Pacific, right? That means if something is happening in the Pacific Ocean, don't you think it will also have its impact on the Indian Ocean? It will also have. Now what happened during the El Nino is that exactly the opposite of this is called El Nino. That means instead of warm water around Australia, you will now have cold water. If this is your South America, see now the warm water is present here and the cold water is present here. Instead of upwelling, you will get to see the water to be downwarping, and this entire system changes. ठीक है? So what kind of pressure do you have here? High pressure. That means the air which is there here, it will be now sinking air. And if you are having warm water, the air is rising because you have low pressure. And then in this manner, you will come across now this is called as El Nino. Why the water moves? Water moves because of the wind. So for reasons which we do not know, the weakening of the Walker cell. Do you remember this is what is called as Walker cell? This horizontal cells are called Walker cells. Now this cell, reverse happened, and this reverse is called as El Nino. When do we get to know that El Nino is going to be there? We'll get to know. The fishermen who used to fish in the normal years during the it is happening in the southern hemisphere. ठीक है? Southern hemisphere, Australia should have its rainfall during the times of the summers, but Australia is not experiencing it. right? Australian summers, that means our winters. So that is the time you will come across that this particular fisherman who is there, he is going on to the sea but not able to find any fish. So this fisherman says, "Oh child Christ," right? "Oh child Christ," matlab are Bhagwan, jaise, what do we say? Like that they say, "Oh child Christ." Now, "Oh child Christ," the other name for child Christ is El Nino in their language. Okay, Portuguese and Spanish they speak. So it is El Nino means child Christ. So they say El Nino, matlab, "Oh Jesus" kind of word, Sardinian word. That became the phenomena of El Nino. It is the fishermen who are going to report first this year it is going to be El Nino. Now why it is happening, no scientific reasons beyond that. It is the credit is always given to the climate change for reasons which we do not know. It simply says that global atmospheric circulation weakening. Weakening of what? Global atmospheric circulation. So if you have to see this is a cell which is formed in the atmosphere. In the normal times, your warm water is here, but in El Nino times, your warm water is here. So where do you find rainfall? On which coast? Australia or South America? You will find rainfall in South America. Okay? That means in the El Nino times, rainfall is here and flooding. Okay? Whereas cold pressure है तो dry, droughts. Normal times, rainfall is here. Okay? And Australia's east coast, they'll have good fishing grounds. Now this is what is the condition of El Nino. But if you look into wherever the places or whatever the places you are having normal conditions, now you will have entire reverse conditions. Across the globe, it might sometimes impact India also. Why is it impacting India? No rainfall. Why no rainfall? Yes, very good. Look here. Yes, in the southern hemisphere, the entire it's not reversing, it is disturbed. Look, this is your equator. Imagine this is your South America. Okay? In the normal times, the winds which are there, are they not moving like this? These are easterlies. These easterlies, sometimes they cross this sea and right? Can I draw it like this? That means here, these are the ones, if this is your ITCZ zone, I hope I can take the liberty to draw the ITCZ zone here like this. If this is the ITCZ zone, don't you think these winds want to go to ITCZ zone? So, the winds that are present in the Indian Ocean, they are actually coming from Pacific. Now, during the times of El Nino, are these winds moving in the same direction? No. Right? So, let me erase these winds during the time of El Nino. In fact, during the time of El Nino, you got to see the winds are not coming in this direction, some winds are moving in this direction. That means this chunk of winds which gets moisture, they are not getting moisture to India. Right? That's the reason why we are not getting rainfall from this part of the region. The rainfall that we get is only from this part of the area. Now, there is another concept called Indian Ocean dipole. Did I explain this? See here, Indian Ocean dipole means even during the Indian Ocean, even within the Indian Ocean, you will come across this part of the Indian Ocean is warmer and this part of the Indian Ocean is comparatively colder. So, if this is the condition, this is called as positive IOD. Indian Ocean dipole. ठीक है? If the equatorial Indian Ocean is warmer on the western side and the equatorial Indian Ocean on the eastern side is colder, we will call this as Indian Ocean dipole positive. ठीक है? IOD positive. If by chance you have the conditions, if the cold water is here, that means if the cold water is in this place, and if you have warm water on the eastern side, this is called as negative Indian Ocean dipole. Now this negative and positive Indian Ocean dipole can be formed during the El Nino or after the El Nino, in the absence of El Nino, or whatever it is. ठीक है? So this whenever you have negative Indian Ocean dipole, that means you have cold water here. This is your cold water. Cold equatorial Indian Ocean water, and this cold water, they will not give good rainfall to India. Why? Evaporation is not there. In fact, this is high pressure. The winds will be moving outward. This is very, very bad for India. Now, just imagine, you have Indian Ocean dipole and you also have El Nino conditions. Will you have rainfall to India? This is what is El Nino condition, right? So look at the cell. Our cell is like this. Where do you find rainfall? El Nino time periods. This is high pressure across Australia. Yes? Yes. So rainfall is here. Winds are not coming to India, and negative Indian Ocean dipole. If you have negative Indian Ocean dipole, El Nino, do you have rainfall? If you have negative Indian Ocean dipole and El Nino together, you will not have rainfall. You are mixing the concepts of primary, secondary and tertiary circulations. Should not mix with primary circulations are different. When primary circulations fail, secondary comes into picture. When secondary fail, tertiary comes into picture. Now El Nino is the disturbance of what? Primary circulations. Okay? And creation of tertiary circulations. El Nino is the disturbance of primary circulations. When primary circulations itself failed, they become local circulations. These are local circulations. Now these local circulations, they keep on impacting. So firstly, the rain that should come from your Pacific Ocean, it did not come. And Indian Ocean, the warm, low pressure is here, high pressure conditions are here. All the rain would like to go here. Now India will receive drought-like conditions. It is not good. But just imagine, you still have, instead of negative Indian Ocean dipole, just imagine you have positive Indian Ocean dipole. What do you mean by positive Indian Ocean dipole? Yes. Now look here. You have El Nino conditions. Just try to understand this. You still have El Nino conditions and positive Indian Ocean dipole. This is positive. Okay? And this is cold water. This is positive Indian Ocean dipole, right? When the western equatorial Indian Ocean water is warm and eastern equatorial Indian Ocean water is cold, we call this as positive Indian Ocean dipole. Positive Indian Ocean dipole means you will have good rainfall to India. Even during the times of El Nino, if you still have positive Indian Ocean dipole with you, and still there is an El Nino year, you will have rainfall, but you will have deficit rainfall. Why land is not there? This is Australia. Your question is here. It is because of the local level changes. Okay? Your primary atmospheric circulation got disturbed. Why? Climate change. We don't know the reasons. We are still trying to find out what exactly is the reason. Indian Ocean dipole, it is formed every year. It is because of the movement of the water. See, if the water is moving in this side, don't you think the water will be warm here? It's not about deserts and all. See, if your water is moving in this direction, upwelling and downwarping concept apply karo. Your water is moving in this direction. So here it is downwarping, no? That means comparatively warm water you should have. Now this warm water is, if you have warm water here, cold water here, this is positive Indian Ocean dipole. When you have positive Indian Ocean dipole, you will have very good rain. Right? And a normal year. Good rain to India. When you have positive Indian Ocean dipole and El Nino, rainfall is deficit. But El Nino plus negative Indian Ocean dipole, drought-like conditions. Now, if you have positive Indian Ocean dipole, and then imagine for another condition, that is La Nina. Now, what is La Nina? La Nina is exactly opposite to El Nino. See, whatever you see the normal condition, now normal conditions are this. This is your equator, and imagine this is your Australia. In the normal conditions, the winds which are there, they are very stronger now. Okay? The water will move like this. Again, you will have upwelling of water here, right? So what kind of pressure do you have? Here you have high pressure, sinking air. Okay? Then the water is also warm. Right? So, do you have rainfall here? Here you have low pressure. This rises, and this is a new cell that is formed. So, can I call this as Walker cell? You will call this as Walker cell. And this is oceanic cell, oceanic gyre circulation. So, isn't this a normal year? During the times of La Nina, the reverse of El Nino happens, and the reverse of El Nino will lead to intensive winds, intensive flow of the oceanic atmospheric circulation, because of which you also have positive Indian Ocean dipole, and then you have normal year with very intense winds. Earlier, in the normal time period, the wind speed used to be 30, but now it will become 45. The faster the winds, the faster will be the evaporation. The good will be the rainfall. Now this is your La Nina. Yes? Normal say extreme condition. Instead of you having a normal rainfall, you will have heavy rainfall. Now you tell me, where will you find droughts? High pressure area, fishes will be there and droughts will be there. And next, where do you find rainfall? East coast of Australia. It's not just rainfall, it is flooding season. In India also, instead of having a normal rainfall, you will have intense rainfall. And now, there would be a time where you will come across El Nino is also impacting the northern part of the hemisphere. Like El Nino can also impact your USA. See, by now you have got to understand that our atmospheric circulation is not an independent thing. Our oceanic circulation is also dependent on atmosphere. Our jet streams are also dependent, if you remember. So, don't you think it will not impact jet streams? All these circulations, are they not impacting jet streams? Height pe hai, but don't you think it will impact? Firstly, why are these jet streams formed? Temperature difference. Our Earth is not an independent system. Our Earth is a continuous system. Atmospheric circulation is linked with oceans. Oceans are also linked with atmosphere. Your surface winds are linked with jet streams. Your jet streams are linked with weather patterns, temperate cyclones. So, even there would be a time where all this will also impact the upper atmospheric circulations. Now just imagine, there is a jet stream which is moving. Here, earlier the direction of the winds is in this direction, but at the ground, instead of low pressure, you got high pressure. Don't you think it is going to get impacted? Like in Tibet, do you remember, this is Tibet. I told you if the jet stream is moving, this concept I've explained, do you remember? Instead of low pressure, if I create a high pressure here, is it not impacting the jet stream? Like that, in the southern hemisphere also, you will come across the impacts of the jet stream. In this manner, this is one disturbance present in the ocean atmospheric circulation. Now this is what is El Nino and Indian Ocean Dipole. Okay? Why is it happening? No one knows. Even the scientific community is trying to understand why this. There are hundreds of research papers which they give their own reason. Hadley cell and Ferrel cell will also get impacted. Is it not Hadley cell? They will get impacted. So, El Nino conditions, the entire atmospheric circulation is disturbed. Jet streams disturbance will be there. This is happening in the southern hemisphere, but its impact can be there in northern hemisphere also. For suppose all the southern hemisphere winds are the ones which are coming to northern hemisphere, no? Look at this. This is where your India is. Online, please switch your screen to the board screen. It will be comfortable for you. This is your India. This is your Australia. Okay? The winds are also coming in this direction. Right? He asked me, sir, is it impacting only in southern? No. Can you see? You have little warm, low pressure systems here. Warm. This is all looking cold. Right? Today we have positive Indian Ocean dipole. Right? The winds are coming and they are going towards Tibet. Okay? This is your ITCZ zone. Now, is El Nino impacting only in the northern hemisphere? No. Why? This is your equator. If there are some changes that are happening here, don't you think these winds are coming from the southern hemisphere? They will also have impact on this side. Now, if this atmospheric circulation system is disturbed, it will also disturb somewhere else. So, it's a global cascading effect. Wherever you find low pressure, wherever you find rainfall, those places will not receive rainfall. Wherever you are finding high pressure, those places you will receive floods. ठीक है? See, watch this. This is our normal year. Can you see warm on the Australia? Now I'll take you to South America. Comparatively, it is colder. So how is the wind direction moving? This is the wind. Okay? Wind is, this is the direction of the wind. Now don't you think the water will also move in the same direction? They will also move in the same direction. Okay? So here you also need to understand whatever the direction is of the water, the wind direction will also be the same. So there are some changes that took place. Just imagine, this is your South America. So here, instead of winds moving in this direction, just imagine the winds are moving in opposite direction. This entire system will get disturbed. Reversal. Okay? Now if there is some changes present there, it will also impact the Indian Ocean and it will impact the Indian monsoon. Now you also have a jet stream which is moving. It will also impact the jet stream as well. That means any changes at one or the other place will also impact these systems. So wherever you find cold, you might see warm areas. Wherever you find warm, you find cold areas. So these are the changes that you will get to see. How does it affect America? Remember, there is a jet stream which is moving like this. What is this jet stream? Which jet stream is this? Subtropical westerly jet stream. See here, this is your India. Okay? This is your India. You had a jet stream here, right? If I am disturbing this jet stream at this place, the same jet stream has to go around and come back. I have already disturbed this jet stream because of the El Nino. Disruption of the jet stream happened. Now this is the same jet stream. It is got disrupted. Don't you think that it is also the same area where you will get to see, look at US. US is also in the same latitudes, no? That means your jet stream should be moving on US like this. So the disturbances of this jet stream will lead to disturbances in the North American climate as well. That means the impact of El Nino and La Nina can be there up to 30 degrees north and 40 degrees north, because it is impacting the subtropical westerly jet stream. Okay? Now this is what is El Nino and La Nina. And here, look into the Indian Ocean dipole as well. If you have warm and cold, you have cold here. Cold equatorial Indian Ocean region, or you can also extend, the western part is cold, the western part is warm, the eastern part is cold, then this is called as Indian Ocean dipole. Positive Indian Ocean dipole is equal to good ठीक है, negative IOD. So like that, this is a dipole. Dipole means on one side you have one charge, on the other side you have a different charge. So this is positive, this is negative. Here it is warm, it is cold. Here it is cold, it is warm. So the opposite factors are called as dipoles. Now this is negative Indian dipole. Now I'll write the combinations here. You tell me. So tell me the conditions of the rainfall. El Nino plus Indian Ocean dipole rainfall. Do you have rainfall in India? Yes, you will have. But it is next. El Nino plus Indian Ocean dipole negative. La Nina plus Indian Ocean dipole positive. Yes. La Nina plus Indian Ocean dipole negative. If Indian Ocean dipole is negative, still you have deficit rainfall. Right? Now, what is the frequency of this El Nino La Nina? The frequency of the El Nino and La Nina is once in 5 to 7 years. Okay? Once in 5 to 7 years you will get to see El Nino. As soon as El Nino comes, the very next year it is La Nina. Now, why do you have this phenomena? It is still a miracle, or else you give the theory and take the Nobel. Okay? It is, the scientists are still trying to give, there are many small theories. Right? So who will get to know first? Who will get to know the first that there is going to be El Nino? It is South Americans. Okay? They will be the first ones to identify. So, but now the stations are located elsewhere, everywhere. So it is easy. El Nino. Next year it is expected. Last El Nino was in 2017, 18. right? And this year, next year, it is expected to be El Nino, but we don't know. Now, sometimes you will come across double dip La Nina, triple dip La Nina. What does that mean? When you have 2 consecutive years La Nina, it is called as double dip La Nina. When you have 3 consecutive years La Nina, you will have triple dip. 2022 is the year for 3 consecutive years we got to see triple dip La Nina. That means flooding. You got to see floodings in the last 2 years, many, right? It was because of La Nina plus positive Indian Ocean dipole. So, this is called as double dip and triple dip La Nina. 2 consecutive times, that is double dip, and 3 consecutive times, it is triple dip. Double dip El Nino ho sakta hai, but usually for reasons not known to scientific community, El Nino 2 consecutive years is very rarely found. It can be there. We do not know exactly the reasons why. It is because all the world should cooperate to understand this. Everyone should share their data as well as come up with the patterns. And it is happening once in 7 years. The data is deficit. Maybe in the next 50 to 100 years, when we start to do more mapping of the oceans and the atmosphere, then we'll get to know. Because El Nino and La Nina, it is not just about atmosphere. It is also about oceans. So in the further time period, we are also going to map oceans by the year 2030. Then this might become little easier for you. So I'll be showing you few images. Try to understand through this. कोई doubt है तो मेरे से पूछ सकते हो. Look at this diagram. This is the El Nino conditions. Normal conditions. Warm water here and cold water there. Upwelling. Rainfall is very good on the east coast of Australia and rainfall is bad on the west coast of South America. Exactly reverse happens here. Now, usually you'll have warmer weather. The winters will be warm if you have El Nino conditions in USA. During the times of El Nino, if you have cold weather here, this part of the area will also have cold. But when you have warm water here, it will have its impact on the whole region. Now, what is the impact on US? It will also have little warm weather conditions during the time of El Nino. India is also having a similar kind of warm weather phenomena. Now, the images that I am going to show you, try to understand these images. Just look into this. Agar koi doubts hai to, I'll keep on moving the slides. If you do have any doubts, then ask me. Normal conditions, Australia and rainfall. Then, any doubts here? Clear. Look at the El Nino conditions. This is also normal condition only. This is El Nino. ठीक है? See, just imagine this is the warm water. Under the influence, usually the central part of the Pacific will be little warmer because the water is least disturbed. They can get warm easily. Under the influence of the trade winds, the water will move like this, and the water comes and reaches here. So that's why you have warm water across the coast of Australia. Water evaporates, rainfall, and you have sinking water. Next. This is also, you'll get to see the changes in the thermocline. Sometimes examiner can ask, the thermocline is lower on the west coast of Australia during the El Nino or La Nina. कितना कॉन्फिडेंटली गलत बोल दिया. During the times of La Nina, the thermocline will get little lower because it will become more warmer, right? ठीक है. During the times of El Nino, where do you have lower thermocline? During the times of El Nino, where do you have lower thermocline? East. Yes, next to South America, right? So normal condition, then El Nino type of condition. ठीक है? Don't just imagine something else. Those two warm conditions have created there, so that's why it is. ठीक है? Now these kind of cells which are formed, we call them as Walker cells. ठीक है? These are Walker cells. Now this is what is El Nino, right? So to understand this, there are two ports which are located. One is Tahiti, other one is Darwin. See, there is a port by the name Tahiti and Darwin. These ports, the pressure systems, the water systems, all of these are measured in these two ports, which is also given in your NCERT. See, these are two areas. This is Darwin port, and here you have Tahiti port. What does the scientist do, you know? They measure eastern minus western. For example, pressure anomaly over Tahiti. For example, if you have high pressure here and low pressure here, eastern minus western, eastern, that is Tahiti minus Darwin, they take into consideration. If suppose the high pressure here is 990 millibars and here the pressure is only 900 millibars, so what is it, a positive value or negative value? Positive value. Eastern high pressure means 990,000. Here you will have lower value. So if suppose, usually this is not important for you, but just practically मैं समझा रहा हूँ ये लोग कैसे calculate किया जाता है. Tahiti minus Darwin port, they calculate the pressure, and if suppose the pressure anomaly is there, anomaly means instead of a normal thing, if you got to see a reverse of that, usually it should be positive, the value should be positive. There would be a day when the pressure anomaly between Darwin and Tahiti, if it is negative, El Nino declare किया जाएगा. Right? समझ में आया? So this is high pressure. Here you should have comparatively high pressure, here you should have low pressure. So Tahiti minus Darwin, that means high pressure minus low pressure, the value should be positive. Now this is considered to be normal conditions. If suppose this value will be negative, this is called as El Nino. Yes? Yes, positive value. If the value is positive, and reverse of it, La Nina is always the normal से ज़्यादा. Excess of normal years is considered to be La Nina. Right? Now La Nina is also not good, El Nino is also not good. You should always have a normal years. Any doubts here? Clear है? This is how it is calculated. So in NCERT also this will be given to you. Thermocline can be asked in prelims, huh? So please be watchful. They might ask, wherever you have warm water, the thermocline layer will be little lower. So in this context, I can also discuss one more concept, that is Pacific decadal oscillation. See, this is in current affairs. Decadal oscillations. La Nina fishing industry के लिए, see, it's not La Nina or El Nino. Wherever you have cold water, fishing industry के लिए अच्छा होगा. In times of La Nina, the upwelling will be stronger on the west coast of South America. There the fishing industry is flourished. ठीक है? More upwelling, more fisheries will be there. Flooding will be there on the Australia. Flooding can be seen in India. Flooding, the winters will be harsh in USA. It will have different weather conditions across the globe. The next topic is Pacific decadal oscillations. See, very easy, very, very easy. Decadal oscillations are 10 years. If there are some changes which are happening in 10 years, that is called Pacific decadal oscillations. Likewise, Indian Ocean dipole, you got to learn. You also will have Pacific decadal oscillations. Sometimes, if Pacific decadal oscillation is positive, it means to say that this part of the area is having warm water and this is having cold water. Right? Next. Negative means western part of the Pacific is having the wedge. Now, can I call this as a wedge? The shape of this is a wedge. This is called as a wedge shape. WEDGE. Or else, can I call this as a horseshoe shape? It looks like a horseshoe, right? Is this not El Nino? This is what is El Nino, right? Warm water in the equatorial Pacific Ocean and the southern part of the Pacific Ocean. If suppose similar kind of situations, if you see across the northern Pacific Ocean and the central and the subtropical Pacific Ocean, that is called as positive decadal oscillations of the Pacific. ठीक है? This is positive when you have warm water on the east and cold on the west. It is also similar to the extension of El Nino into the Pacific Ocean. Now, don't get confused with primary, secondary and tertiary circulations. See, these are forming when your primary circulations failed, when the general laws of the oceans have failed. That is when you got to see these developments. Why it happens, no one knows. We are still struggling and trying. That is one of the reasons why we wanted to map. Look at this. That means reason for change. See, these are global atmospheric circulation disturbances. Why? Maybe you are heating if you industrialize USA to an extent, all these phenomena are recent phenomena. We did not see this 200, 300 years before. Especially Pacific decadal oscillations. El Nino, La Nina was there, but the frequency of El Nino, La Nina was not there. The reasons which we presume in the sense which we think they are the reasons, are none other than industrialization process. That is what is climate change. You have increased the heat in the temperate areas, right? Where are most of the industries located in the initial time period? Temperate areas. You emitted carbon dioxide, and then you disturb the carbon dioxide component. Now we are not able to understand, why do we have this? In news articles, once or twice or somewhere they'll say that this is the reason, that is the reason. But collectively, the IPCC did not come to a conclusion that this is the reason. Now, don't you think if we get to know the reason, there will be articles, NCERT would have written it, your textbooks would have written it, your IPCC reports, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, they'll start to negotiate on this. Jahan pe, wherever you have El Nino impact, give me money. Yes, that means can we not ask that you created El Nino, right? Historical undergoings, historical undoings. You created industrialization. Warm water is coming to us. So wherever warm water comes to us or cold water comes to us, please pay a premium from the developed nations. This is we can ask. Yes, we do not know the exact reasons. So this is what is the Pacific Decadal Oscillations and Indian Ocean. See, it can impact both. Now, Shaurya's question is, sir, are they going to impact the southwest monsoon? No, not just southwest. They also impact northeast monsoon also. Because you should not study the systems as different. See, all this time we were studying about geomorphology, climatology, oceanography. On the earth, all of them are having interactions at the same time. If suppose thousands of volcanoes erupted in the Tuvalu Islands, which is located in the Pacific. Now it will go into the stratosphere. Stratospheric ozone depletion it will do. On the other side, it will lead to the climate change process. It will further lead to the life forms dying on the ground. Maybe over construction of the construction material at the North Pole will lead to the slow movement of the earth. So what we do is, for our convenience, we write in the books, this is climatology, this is oceanography, this is biogeography. In fact, all these processes are happening at the same time. It is for our convenience what we have done, we have divided them into chapters. But you should always think, if these changes are coming, what are the impacts on biogeography? What are the impacts on climatology, oceanography, geomorphology, environmental geography, human settlements, right? They are all continuous. Our Earth is a continuous dynamic entity which is in action. Can be there. Okay, it is not mandated. Usually PDO है ना, once in 10 years you will get to see. होगा. See, 100% in one of these 10 years, you are going to see a La Nina conditions, and sometimes the extension of this La Nina you are getting to see in the eastern side. That means this is all the extension of La Nina. Now, Astha's question is, sir, जब भी PDO होगा, can we call that we'll have La Nina? Yes. One among those 10 years, you'll have the La Nina. Yes? No. He's asking, sir, is it all of a sudden event? No. Eventually, it will take 3 months. We'll get to know that it is going to happen. We'll see the weather climatic changes over Australia. Species, the animals which are there on Australia, they keep on moving towards the westward areas, southward areas where the rainfall is there. The animal, especially birds, are the signaling entities to this. Whenever El Nino, La Nina is going to come, the migratory path of the bird, they are going to change. And sometimes mass suicidal of the birds will also take place. See, again, there are some articles that birds commit suicide. Because suicide in the sense it's not an intentional suicide. Usually, at times when they are going into an area where there are thunderstorms, lightnings, and where they have to reach their home before night, if they are not able to reach because of the climate change phenomena, birds will lose their radar capabilities. Yes, suicide in the sense they don't know where they are going. They go and hit the trees, they go and hit the mountains. This is what the birds do. So usually you'll get to see such kind of phenomena in the Great Dividing Range. Okay? Thunderstorms you'll get to see there. Dry winds are there. Winds are flowing faster. Now the local research articles of the Great Dividing Range in the geodesy you'll come across. The birds, this is called as unintentional suicides. Birds go and hit the trees. Birds go and hit the mountains. It's like that. या घर houses होता है बड़े बड़े buildings, they go and hit them because see, birds do not have that. Birds, when they are moving in a longer distances, these are not those birds. How is that a bird from Mongolia is moving towards South America? How does it know the road? When it is flying so high, for miles together, for its all visibility, except for sea, nothing is there. How is it able to go? They also take the help, that is butterflies take, but it is taking the help of the radar system of the earth. Birds have the tendency to identify the North Pole, South Pole. Birds move with the radar systems. That when during the times of lightning and thunderstorm, birds will collapse. The radar system which is there, the charges, they get blank for some time and they fall, or else they go and hit whichever place they are. Now this is also a signal. See, this is a disturbing article which I have read across in the Down to Earth, which says that they are committing mass suicides. It's actually not mass suicidal entity. It is the birds go and hit the buildings, the birds go and hit and change their route and they fall. It's also an indication that El Nino La Nina आ गया, ठीक है? Or climatic changes you can quote. It is everywhere, but seen. Shaurya's question is, whatever the activity we do here, why is that so much of impact you will get to see in Antarctica and Arctic? It is because they are very sensitive areas. Landform also, melting also. Arctic amplification, did I not tell you? If you increase 1 degree Celsius at the equator, 3 degrees Celsius will rise at the Arctic. It is called Arctic amplification. That's why you see a lot of changes in the North Pole and South Pole. I think I have explained this to you in the environment. Ozone depletion. बाद में explain करूँगा. In person I will tell you. Right? So look at this Indian Ocean dipole. Positive phase and negative phase. Look at thermocline also. Wherever you have warm water, the thermocline layer is lower. So ध्यान से याद रखना. Examiner can ask you the lower thermocline regions. Now lower thermocline regions means, is it not impacting the fisheries? Here you will not find fishes. Warm water. Here thermocline came. But look at the exact opposite of this. Thermocline देखो. So this is positive. This is negative. Usually neutral in the sense we just, for namesake, the diagram, it is not correct. It should not be warm here. Your thermocline is normal. This is called as neutral. So books and all, they'll write with respect to thermocline. The negative Indian Ocean dipole means the thermocline layer upliftment in the east or west? East Indian Ocean or West Indian Ocean? The upliftment of the thermocline layer took place west. ठीक है? This is how the books write. But it becomes very difficult for you to understand when you read the literature. Just that you have to imagine like this. Now, in most of the areas, what do? You know? They teach you atmosphere and they directly teach you El Nino La Nina concepts. ठीक है? and then you get confused. अरे ऐसे देखना है या you yourself has to turn around and then watch. So this becomes a difficult task. So that's why I did not take up this topic in the beginning. ताकि आपको समझ नहीं आएगा. Until and unless I have explained you oceanography, how are you going to understand this? Right? Yes, this is what is Indian Ocean dipole and Pacific Decadal oscillations and the El Nino La Nina. Any doubts? याद रहेगा? Okay. If you want to take a photograph, take this. This is very important. Yes. Done? So couldn't understand La Nina. देखो, La Nina means whatever the conditions that you have in the normal years, the superannuation, or else you can say that the excess of the normal year is called La Nina. See, or else you can also say that reverse of El Nino is La Nina. What is this? Normal year. This is El Nino year. But can I say the excess of this, instead the warm water will be more warm, the evaporation will be warm, which will lead to rainfall year. So the excess of the normal year, or else normal plus मान के चलो, this is your La Nina year. ठीक है? And see, sometimes you might come across a word called masculine high. I talked about this masculine high during the time periods of monsoon. So what is this masculine high? Look here, I'll show you masculine high. Right? Can you see these high pressure regions? This entire region is called as masculine high pressure nearby Madagascar. Now this masculine high pressure, it helps in the high pressure, the winds always move outward, right? So they help in coming to India. If the high pressure is stronger here, the dispersal is stronger there. Okay? That is what is masculine high. So our Indian Ocean monsoon, or our Indian monsoon, now tell me, now try to think like this. This is India. Now you tell me, what are the factors that are influencing the Indian Ocean monsoon? Can I say IOD, El Nino, La Nina, Pacific Decadal oscillations, masculine high, Tibetan high pressure and low pressure, jet streams? This is a question that will be asked. Simple. So one, you have a jet stream that is influencing you, and also Tibet, subtropical easterly jet stream, plus masculine high, plus the Indian Ocean dipole, and the El Nino or La Nina. Now the farmer who is going to crop, don't you think the farmer is always a dependent on a dynamic systems? Right? Indian agricultural is dependent upon climate dynamic factors. ठीक है? Ab UPSC, what does it do is it asks very big level questions. I mean, the questions are very superficially they'll ask very broadly. Here you need to go in detail and try to understand. Chalo, if they're asking about the farming, the agriculture of India and its relationship with the climatic factors, okay, or weather patterns, or else the atmospheric circulation system of India has its deep impact on the crops grown as well as the agricultural types in India, or impact of El Nino and La Nina on agriculture, or else the atmospheric circulation impact on farmer, agriculture. Simply factors yaad rakho. 1, 2, 3 is Pacific Decadal oscillations, 4 Mascarenes high, 5 Indian Ocean dipole, 6 Tibetan high pressure, 7 subtropical jet stream. Even if it is asked for 15 marks, 2 diagrams, and then some good content with the keywords, you are good to go. Done? So, hamesha make sure to have a bigger picture in this. Just a minute. What happened here? Next topic. El Nino, La Nina, we are done. You want me to take up the 2 different types of soils as well? So, the type of soils that I have discussed was laterite, black soil, red soil and yellow soil, and alluvial soil. We are supposed to do arid soil and peat and marshy, arid and peat and marshy. See, when it comes to arid soil, usually arid means where you do not have good rainfall. That is called as arid. Okay? Think what happened to this? Just a minute. Okay, got it. Usually, these are the areas where you will find arid, and semi-arid areas are those areas where you have deficit rainfall. Arids are found in deserts. Now, these are those soils, at a point of time they were very fertile soils. But because there is a process that is involved called capillary action. What do you mean by capillary action? Where the rate of evaporation is more then this is called as capillary action. So, just imagine you have a soil which is full of nutrients, and in India you go to desert, you find this kind of soil. It has majority of the nutrients. When water is given, it is crystallized. See, the nutrients which are there in the desert soil, they get crystallized to minute particles. If you give that water, they get dissolved. If you don't give water, they don't get dissolved. So that's why desert soil is considered to be an arid. Arid literal meaning is that dispersed nutrients are called as arid, okay? Which are concentrated into minute micronodules. So, whenever you give water to that desert soil, the water is taken and the micronodules will get dispersed and your desert soil will become very fertile soil. What we need to do is we need to think on one. First of all, we have to give water to the deserts. Like Ganganagar district was there. At a point of time it was a desert. But still water was given through Indira Gandhi Canal. Your Indira Gandhi Canal came like this. This is where the Indira Gandhi Canal is there. So the role of Indira Gandhi Canal, if you look into, here Ganganagar district of Rajasthan and the western part of Rajasthan is today also a complete desert. Jodhpur, Jaisalmer, these areas, Jaipur also, even sand dunes you get to see. Okay? Bikaner, these areas. But the eastern Rajasthan, you see, it is now able to get water. It was also an arid soil but converted into a fertile alluvial. Now arid soil, when you give water to it on a continuous basis for 30 odd years, subah sham, that will become alluvial. Okay? This is the nature of arid. Now which crops are grown in the arid? Usually those crops who can spread their roots wider. Okay? Those crops which can spread their roots wider and can extract the water from the ground. Those kind of crops can be grown. So you see, or else plants that do not require water. Okay? Hydrophobic plants, these plants you need to grow. Best is aloe vera. Roots will be very wider. You go to desert. If this is your plant, the thickness of the stem is very high. Why? Because the stem will store the water in them. The stem will store the water in the form of a gel. And look at their roots. So this is not an ideal cultivation for crops. So that's why people don't grow crops. Randomly they'll throw millets if it is grown fine, or else they'll grow for aloe vera, they'll go for cactus plantations and medicinal plants. Right? These are the crops that will be grown there. Cultivation is not that easy, and their lifestyle will be based on cattle. Okay? They live on cattle, like camel. Cows will be there, but the dry eating habits of the cows, which will not give good yield of the milk. That is their lifestyle. Parent material, it can be any. Arid soil, usually it is a dried soil. Parent material is also sedimentary in nature. It is sedimentary. I told you, no, your area of Rajasthan was once completely filled with ocean water. Now such large area is submerged with ocean water. Now don't you think the mitti will be salt because ocean water given their salts to them? Parent material is sedimentary. Right? This is the nature of arid. Now coming to peaty and marshy. Peaty and marshy soils, you will find them in mostly in the Western Ghats area. Or else in an area, this soil is also called as bog soil. Bogs means where mangroves area is there. Look here, it is full of wet area hai. Any small amount of rainfall, it will come onto the top. So likewise, wherever you have rivers flowing in, flooding is common, or western areas, you find that peaty and marshy. In this peaty and marshy soil, methane is extracted on a continuous basis. Okay? This is one soil which gives you methane. So peaty and marshy soils are not suitable for cultivation of agriculture. Okay? That also you need to remember. And did I give the notes for this? Yes? I did not. Yellow. Whenever you have red soil parent material is granite. Okay? Or gneiss. Now, granite is a material when rock can be cooled. See, for example, a material which is coming out from the volcano, it can cool within the interior of the earth also. That means below the surface. It can cool above the surface also. If it is cooling above the surface, is the cooling fast or slow? the cooling is fast. Whenever the cooling is fast, the size of the crystals which are there, they will be smaller. Whenever the cooling is slower, the size of the crystals are bigger and the rock quality is better. Now you tell me, granite is a rock which is cooled above the surface of the earth or below? See, it is both above and below. It is cooled both above and below, but majorly you will find below the continent, below itself. Now this rock, if it is present in a water-rich area, then it will become yellow. If the same rock, if it is present in a dry area where the iron which is present in the rock, if it is crystalline, crystallization process means crystals it is converting, and through a process of diffusion. Now what do you mean by diffusion? The movement of nutrients or the movement of particles which are there in the rock. If it is a rock, the nutrients or particles, if they move from higher concentration to lower concentration, this is called as diffusion. Now the red color in the red soil is because of diffusion process. Okay, red color in the red soil is because of the diffusion process. Whereas if water is added to the red color, it will turn yellow. That means yellow soil is comparatively nutrient rich soil as compared to red soil. Okay. So yesterday I gave the notes for which all soils? Red and yellow soil, did you write? Now write for arid soil. Arid soils range from red to brown in color. Arid soils range from red to brown in color. They are generally sandy in structure and saline in nature. They are generally sandy in structure and saline in nature. They lack moisture and humus. They lack moisture and humus. Full stop. Nitrogen is insufficient. Nitrogen is insufficient and the phosphate content is normal. Nitrogen is insufficient and the phosphate content is normal. Lower horizons of the soil are occupied by conker. Lower horizons of the soil are occupied by conker layers because of the increasing calcium content downwards. Because of the increasing calcium content downwards. The soils of conker layer, ब्रैकेट में लिखो कैल्शियम, is present at the bottom, layer. And which will not allow the infiltration of water, and which will not allow the infiltration of water and comma, thus whenever irrigation is made available, the comma, the soil moisture is readily available for sustainable growth of the plant. Arid soils are present in Rajasthan. Arid soils are present in Rajasthan, comma, which exhibits characteristics of arid topography. Which exhibit the characteristics of arid topography. These soils are poor and contain little humus or organic matter. These soils are poor and contain little humus or organic matter. Have you heard of little humus or organic matter? Have you heard of desert flooding? Floods in the deserts? This is 2024 April article. Dubai's biblical rain is cloud seeding to be blamed. UAE struggles to recover after heaviest recorded rainfall ever hits desert nations. Likewise, in India also, you'll come across the floods at some times in Jaisalmer. Jaisalmer is an area which is present here. Look into your atlas. This is the place of Jaisalmer. Somewhere here it will be, right? And Jodhpur. These are the areas. Now they were also flooded in the year 2006. You give little amount of water to the deserts, desert area will get flooded. Now don't just imagine desert means only sands will be there. No. See, you'll come across the desert vegetation in India. The desert vegetations which are there, it will be of a unique. This is how your desert looks. It's not that all time deserts will have sand dunes. Sand dunes are the extreme case of deserts. Now here you find two different types of soil. That is your desert soil, arid soil. It is also called as saline soil. Now why you have so much of salinity? Because there was a point of time when ocean came into that part of the area, and when evaporation is more than precipitation, all the nutrients that are there in the soil, they get concentrated. For example, I have a bowl of water and I've evaporated all the bowl of water, and in that bowl of water I had some impurities. At the end, what am I left with if I am evaporating? Impurities. Now just imagine those impurities are the collection of this soil. Okay? It is saline, yes. Even the lower layers, that means look, lower layers in the sense A layer, B layer, in between you have E layer, C, D. So the lower layers in the sense, it is these. These layers, they are very, sometimes B also, they are crystalline. Now what do you mean by crystalline? They are hard pans. Suppose, imagine this is a very thick hard pan. Hard pan means it is very hard layer which is present, and this will not, if there is any rainfall which is there, this A layer is present, this rainfall will not let percolate downward. This layer will not let it percolate downward. So that's why the top layer, which is hardly sometimes 10 centimeters, 20, 30, 40, 50 centimeters, it can get easily filled by a cloudburst. So your deserts regions can flood easily. Cloudbursts are a common phenomena, not in the mountains. It is a common phenomena which you will get to see in deserts also. Right? So this is crystalline layer. It's not like that. Shaurya is saying, sir, if there is any rainfall, then there is no desert. Now, what is the meaning of a desert first? A desert is a region where the rate of evaporation is more than the rate of precipitation, and with an average rainfall of less than 50 centimeters per year, where the rate of evaporation is more than the rainfall. That means evaporation is more than rainfall, plus the rainfall will not exceed maximum of 50 centimeters. That is what is your desert. Right? In extreme areas, the rainfall is sometimes 25 centimeters. It's not that desert is not having rainfall. Deserts will have rainfall. They are deserts because whatever they got, they are evaporating at a faster rate. This is the broader meaning of a desert. Now, desert can be of various types. You also have cold desert, Ladakh, Spiti, semi-arid deserts, Rayalaseema, the Tirupati, Chittoor, Rayalaseema area, which I told you, rain shadow region. And Jaipur, it is also a desert, semi-arid area. Go to Jodhpur. Jodhpur is, you can also look into your atlas if you are not able to find the places. This is Jaisalmer. Jaipur is somewhere here. Now it is near to this greenery area. Right? Now look at this semi-arid area. Rayalaseema. This is Rayalaseema and this is Andhra. Okay? Andhra Pradesh consists of, this is called coastal Andhra and this is called Rayalaseema. Right? And together this is Telangana. So today's Andhra Pradesh state is this. It consists of what? It consists of the coast, which is Andhra, and it consists of this Rayalaseema. Here you have 4 districts. These 4 districts are drought prone areas. The eastern part of Karnataka, they are also. Yes, the leeward side of the Western Ghats. That's why they don't have. And they are also on the leeward side of the Eastern Ghats. Shadow zone. Now take down, you now got why do you have desert soils flooding? Because crystalline the lower layer. And they will not allow the rain to move that easily. But every day you give water to this, slowly the water gets disintegrated and you start to grow the crops. Sustainable way of growing crops. So maybe you bring a canal. See, a hypothetical idea. We are giving water to Indus. Your Indus water is somewhere here. We are giving water to Indus. Indus water. Indus has tributaries of Indus, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, Sutlej. These are the 5 major tributaries of Indus. Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, Sutlej. Right? Punjab was considered to be a collection of. Do you have 5 rivers in India? The Punjab was Pakistani Punjab and India Punjab together. When it was there, it was called Punjab. Collection of 5 rivers, but half of Punjab went to Pakistan. Now we made a treaty. Treaty is these 3 rivers, that is Indus, Jhelum and Chenab. The water of this will be given to Pakistan. and the water of these 3 rivers will be given to India. But we are not allowed to stop the water. The river belongs to Pakistan and these rivers belongs to India, though Indus goes through India itself. So what we are doing is, we are doing run-off river projects. What is this run-off river projects? The river will be flowing, we will construct a dam and will not stop the water here. We'll use this water to generate electricity and we'll use this water to create a small lakes and reservoirs. We will not stop it. The river will be flowing. So we constructed a project by the name Kishan Ganga project. Where? In Kashmir. So when we constructed this Kishan Ganga project, here Pakistan objected construction of that, and then they went into the International Court of Justice and World Bank also. Because this treaty was signed between India, Pakistan and World Bank mediated, because World Bank is a very big organization and it has that financial power with it. I told you in the beginning, who can give such a big loan to railways? Yesterday I told you too big to fail concept. Did I tell you? Yes. So that means only big banks can give you loans, right? So it was World Bank and the European banks they used to give. They also gave loans to construct this Tehri Dam, Bakra Nangal Dam. And World Bank also came into mediation and it used to settle the disputes. We came up with a canal by the name Indira Gandhi Canal. Now this Indira Gandhi Canal is presently present in Rajasthan and some parts of the western parts of the region. So just imagine, you extend, hypothetically I'm telling, you take, when you become a chief secretary or cabinet secretary sometime later, take this bold step. Make a decision that let's go for the greenerying of this desert, like China is doing in Mongolia. Okay? Africa is doing in Sahara. What we'll do is we'll construct a canal through that and we'll drag the water from run-off river projects here. Run-off river will not stop the water, but we will divert the water. The treaty says that here 9 cubic centimeters per second of water should be continuously flowing. The flow should not get reduced beyond this. If that is reduced, we are not okay with the project that you have constructed. So currently we maintain this flow with these 3 rivers and all these 3 rivers are with us. And through a project of interlinking of rivers, where we wanted to interlink the Himalayan rivers with that of the peninsular rivers. Godavari, the water is wasted into the ocean. We are not able to utilize it. That's why Kaleshwaram river project is constructed. Likewise, you take a project and bring water to this area, this will be the new rice bowl or millet bowl to the world. Okay? Because India's deserts are not way older. We can literally bring them back, hardly 2 million years older. So you can revive them back, all of them. There can be problems. Okay? Yes, there can be problems. Problems of what? Deserts mein lizards will live. Desert has desert species. If you are converting into a greenery, where would they go? Either they have to adapt or they'll perish. We have to calculate this cost. Okay? That ecological impact, this is nothing but EIA, Environmental Impact Assessment. We can go for that and look out for, because at the end it is not the animals, for the survival of the human beings and the welfare of the people. Right? What do you do is you can facilitate a national park to them. Not the entire desert, slowly push them to an area and take care of them. Right? Sustainable way we can. Boundary, dire dire you start to plant and they themselves will move into the deserts. Don't plant all of it at a go. Slowly you do. Or most of the species of the deserts, they can adapt. Because they are cold-blooded species. Cold-blooded species which are there. During the night time, they cannot come out. It is extremely cold. During the daytime, it is extremely warm. That's why in the deserts, it is asked that please don't go out in the evenings or early mornings. Why, you know? The temperatures are very conducive. The animals which are there, they come out and they'll catch you. Night times, very cold. They cannot survive. Cold-blooded, hai na? Lizards and all you see, always, typically, it is present next to these tube lights itself. Why? Tube light garam hota hai, it is warm, and the lizard wants to stay next to it. It's like that. So likewise, in deserts are also species there. The cost we need to calculate. Maybe if you are going for a sustainable development, dhire dhire, we might think on those sides. So in the desert also, you definitely need the greenery growing. Maybe desert vegetation pe hi jao aap. Go with desert vegetation itself, like cactus plantations, but make it green. Yes? Yes, venomous animals will be present. See, why does the animals have venoms? Yes, it is just to protect themselves. It is only to protect themselves. Yes? Opium. Semi-arid crop. Opium. हिंदी में क्या कहते हैं? अफीम. Recently I've seen a series, Mirzapur. ठीक है? Afim. Yes. It is a semi-arid crop. India, it is legal to grow through a license. It is grown in Madhya Pradesh and in Rajasthan. It is used for cancerous treatments. So, especially cancerous treatments hai, that is where the dispersal of this happens, but the narcotics is very strict there. If you carry more than 10 grams and if you're caught, it is through narcotics laws. They are very, very strong laws. There are few laws in India which are very strong. One is Narcotics Act, Arms Act, Prevention of Money Laundering Act, FEMA, Foreign Exchange Money Act, which ED implements, and POSH, that is POSH guidelines to the officers, and POXO. POXO is Prevention of Child Sexual Abuse. So these are considered to be the Panchmitra laws, which if you're got in that, you're gone. UAPI also, but that is extreme acts of you. Now let's go. One more, take a heading as saline soil also, as you have writing. Himalayan yew. Cancer treatment के लिए. Flower. Apple. Himalayan yew, it is reddish pink color. This is used in treatment of cancer. Very costly flower. Himalayas में grow होता है. It is grown in Himalayas. So, again, China we export and import. We are not supposed to do. There is a treaty called, though this is not geography, Convention of International Trade in Endangered Species. So this is an endangered species. Endangered means 70% of the total plants which were there, as compared to the last decade, they might have dead or gone. And in the upcoming time period, it is estimated that another 70% might be lost. That is called as endangered. Now, this is an endangered species. Any endangered species, trading is not allowed until you have a permission. Pangolin. Elephant, can you trade, buy and sell elephant? Why? Because it is an endangered species. So likewise, it will be there. Sites violation will be there if you are trading. That is why it is in news. Okay, write down saline soil. It is also known as Usara soil. USARA. Usara soil. It is also known as USARA, USARA. Saline soils contain large proportion of sodium, potassium, and magnesium. Saline soils have large proportions of sodium, potassium, and magnesium. Therefore, they are infertile and do not support any vegetative growth. Therefore, they are infertile and do not support any vegetative growth. They can be found in arid and semi-arid regions. They can be found in arid and semi-arid regions, and in waterlogged and swampy areas. And in waterlogged and swampy areas. Their structure ranges from sandy to loamy. Their structure ranges from sandy to loamy. Loamy means loose. ठीक है? Loamy soil. Loose soil. No. Loamy is a texture, not a type of a soil. A soil can be clayey, a soil can have granules, a soil can be loamy. Texture of a soil is different from type of a soil. Loose. Look at this. This is the texture. Suppose a black soil can be clayey, a black soil can be loamy, a black soil can be sandy. Your red soil can be loamy, sandy, clay. These are the textures. Okay? For example, if you want to grow groundnut, which soil is suitable? Loamy. Okay? If you want to grow cotton, you go for clay type of soil, because whenever you are making it dry, it cracks and air goes in, gives good cotton. So it depends. This is the texture. Yes. The vegetation depends upon what kind of a soil it is and what is the texture of the soil. For example, you have a sandy soil or you have a granule type of soil जिसमें पत्थर बड़े बड़े, the stones are bigger. Will your roots penetrate easily? No, right? So the growth of the plant will not be good in this. This is loamy. The roots do not need much energy to penetrate easily and balance themselves. So this is a good soil. Clayey, until and unless you are giving water to that, it is a soft soil. But stop giving water to it, hard soil. So every crop is also dependent upon what kind of a texture. Groundnut needs always loamy soil. Sugarcane needs loamy. And clay soil, rice can be grown. Okay. Last point, what have you written? This soil lacks nitrogen and calcium. This soil lacks nitrogen and calcium. Saline soils are more widespread in Gujarat, deltas of the east coast, Gujarat, deltas of the east coast, and in Sundarban areas of the West Bengal, and in Sundarban areas of the West Bengal. Also write PT soil, P-A-T-Y, PT soil. It is found in the areas of heavy rainfall. It is found in the areas of heavy rainfall and high humidity. When there is a good growth of vegetation, full stop. Thus, I'll explain, first completed. Thus, a large quantity of dead organic matter accumulates. Thus, a large quantity of dead organic matter accumulates in these areas. Thus, a large amount of dead organic matter accumulates in these areas. And this gives a rich humus and organic content. And this gives a rich humus and an organic content to the soil. Organic content in these soils may go even up to 40 to 50%. Even may go up to 40 to 50%. Next point. These soils are normally heavy and black in color. These soils are normally heavy and black in color. It is present in the northern parts of the Bihar, the southern part of the Uttaranchal, and coastal areas of West Bengal, Odisha, and Tamil Nadu. East coast of Tamil Nadu will have heavy rainfall. Okay. So this is PT. PT means where the water is high. That is not vegetation here in the sense crops we generally talk about. They are trees. In environment you will come across mangroves are a unique vegetation. They are exceptions. Mangroves in a peaty and marshy soil, the tree cannot take air because it is submerged in the water. So mangroves, what did they do? They take their nutrients not from the water but from the air and a partial nutrients from the water. They are called as new metaphors. So, except for mangroves, do you find any vegetation here? No. What are these? The roots of this tree. In fact, it goes down. There are new nutrients that are present there. Only limited nutrients. So, they come above the surface of the earth and they take the air. These roots take the aeration from that. Okay, this is peaty and marshy soil. Air in the sense, this is having nitrogen fixation capability. Mangroves, this is mangrove. Nutrients in the sense, see, soluble nutrients they take from the water. And to dissolve them, they use the air. Okay? Animals, crocodiles, tigers are also present here. Sundarban tigers. And the mangrove, this is called as Sundari mangroves. Gharials can be there here. Unique vegetation. Here, this is called as an ecotone. Why ecotone? Here, you will find ocean. This is your ocean area. And if you look onto the outside, this is your terrestrial area. This is present between ocean. It is also present between land. This is also called as ecotone. Yes. One is aquatic, other one is got it. So these are not for normal vegetations. That's why I said no vegetation. Very dangerous area this is. Poaching activities and unique life forms will also be there. In India, we have across the east coast, we planted little later. In the last, also write as the forest soil. I mean, whenever I talk about vegetation, it's an indication that I'm talking about crops. Okay? Crops cannot be grown. That is called as vegetation. Or only if one type of crop is there, we don't call this as a vegetation. This is mangrove plantations. Forest. Forest soils are formed in the forest areas where sufficient rainfall is available. Forest soils are found in forest areas where sufficient rainfall is available. Full stop. They are loamy and silty. They are loamy and silty on valley sides. They are loamy and silty on the valley sides. And coarse grained on the upper slopes. Got it? Coarse grain matlab the size of the grain is little bigger. Next point. Finer particles will come here because the river flows here. In the snowbound areas of the Himalayas, they experience denudation. In the snowbound areas of Himalayas, they experience denudation and are acidic in nature. In the snowbound areas of the Himalayas, they experience denudation and are acidic with low humus content. The soils present here are fertile in the lower valley. The soils present here are fertile in the lower valley and comparatively less fertile in the upper areas. Okay? Now this is what is soils. Any other soil that is left? I think we are done. And one thing, see, regarding monsoon, I wanted to tell you this. how does monsoon comes to India? See, the monsoon comes to India in two wings. Look at this diagram. I'll use black color. See, the monsoon winds which come to India, one wing goes in this direction and the other wing travels through this direction. Both of them, they wanted to reach where? ITCZ zone itself. Okay, this is where your ITCZ zone itself. So here, look, the rainfall to India, first, how does the rainfall travel? Look at the timeline and date line here. This is 30 June. This is 1st June. That means it takes 30 days for these clouds to slowly travel across India and come back. Now look at the topography here. You have Aravallis here. Okay? On one side you have Aravallis here and small mountains here also. These are Western Ghats and in between you have a pass. These are Eastern Ghats. Okay? So these are Eastern Ghats and you have Vindhyas. You also have Vindhyas in the north and Satpuras in the south, Rajmahal Hills, and these are Himalayas. Okay? I hope you are able to understand this. Now, how is the journey? Look at the journey of this rainfall. The journey of this rainfall is very unique. It is not that they spread across one. First, let's look into the west wing. The west wing is, watch my first wing is, one of the wing comes, which is called as Arabian Sea branch. And the other wing is called as Bay of Bengal branch. Now, this Bay of Bengal branch moves between Sri Lanka and India. So, if there is any rainfall which is trying to rise above these mountains, this turned out to be a rain shadow region. So, much of Tamil Nadu will not receive rainfall during the months of June. Why they don't receive rainfall during the months of June? Because you have these mountains, Nilgiris, which are present here, and they don't let these winds to reach the Tamil Nadu. So Tamil Nadu is more or less dry during the months of June. Now, this monsoon, while it is going, it enters into the gap of Vindhyas and Satpuras. It rises above these Western Ghats and much of the rainfall happens in the Western Ghats. And you also have a rain shadow region in Andhra Pradesh. Right? This is one wing. Like this, it moves the south of Aravallis and reaches the Delhi here. This is the path. Right? That means this is the directional path. Now let me exaggerate this. One wing and the other wing. This is how it is going. Wherever the mountains are there, it tries to avoid that mountains and the clouds want to move. On the other side, see this. This is the second wing, which is the Bay of Bengal wing, and this wing gives you a lot of rainfall. Now this wing gives you a limited rainfall to India, because here also Gujarat rainfall is there, but again you have Girnar hills, mountains and so decent amount of rainfall you will get to see, but they cannot cross Aravallis, so rainfall is not happening south of Aravallis. West of Aravallis. Right? This is east of Aravalli, this is west. Likewise, look at the Bay of Bengal wing. Now this Bay of Bengal wing will start to move towards the Bay of Bengal. While it is moving in the Bay of Bengal, it will pick up moisture. It is also picking up moisture, and while it is picking up moisture, it is trying to enter into the gaps. One, you have a river, Krishna, it enters into Krishna gap. You have Godavari, you have Kaveri, and then it will rain. But look at Tamil Nadu. This part of Tamil Nadu is neither receiving rainfall from the east or west. So this area is dry during the months of June rainfall. Right? Now why is this winds wanting to move inside? ITCZ zone. So your ITCZ zone, it is nothing but a series of low pressure areas. These are low pressure areas, local low pressure areas, here, there, here, there. It's not that as a belt they are present. On the globe also I have shown you in the beginning pressure belts, but they are pockets of low pressure. So these are pockets of low pressures you can see there. They will try to pull these winds. So, but look at this. This is Meghalaya. These are mountains. What does your Bay of Bengal wing do is, it starts to move. First it goes to the northeast in these areas. And it cannot move any further. I mean, it is being blocked by these mountains. Then it starts its journey like this. Then it hits here because it is blocked in them, and then it starts to move towards this side. Here you have another river by the name Mahanadi. Mountains are there, Eastern Ghats. So here you will see the rainfall moving inside. Much of the rainfall of the monsoon comes through Bay of Bengal wing. Now likewise, it will start to enter into areas wherever there is low pressure, local low pressure area is there, it will attract. So likewise, it takes from June 1st to come and reach to the Kashmir, it takes near about 30 days. So these winds, the seasons are also dependent on that. Rice cultivation starts 1 month. Harvesting also is 1 month later. Now they have to wait for 1 month. Right? So June, July they started. Winter comes first where? Here or here? Yes, Mehak. Where does the winter you get to see? The impact of winter, do you see at equator? See, the winter will start first. The experience, you will get to see the winter experiences here. You go to Chennai, no winter. You go to Hyderabad, no winter. Equator ke place close hai. So June, July, by October end itself it will be cold. The rice growing plantation time period is very less in these areas. So the farmer is very hurry. Chalo, I have to grow crop and I have to cut. And they don't have time. So tractor leke aayega, then they burn them and bury them. That is what they do. Yes. Global warming se? Basically, they do not have time. That's why they burn their stubble. But this fellows has a lot of time. They'll wait, take a chai, sit back into the air farm fields. Okay? They do a lot of activities in the farms. That's why the cultures there are also integrated with agriculture. But here, commercialization of agriculture happened. Okay? This is commercialization of agriculture. Here, commercialization ke liye scope thoda hai, but it is more or less, you have the weather has supported you. Because June, July, August itself you will cut. Then next crop, you will wait for another rainfall to come from October. Right? Meanwhile, he'll have his good days. He'll celebrate Dasara. Dasara festivals will be bright and vibrant. He'll celebrate Diwali. Then he'll go for cultivation. There is no time for Dasara and Diwali here. It is just burn it off and start wheat there. Okay. Coming to the northeast monsoon. Now, did you receive rainfall to June in Tamil? No. The same winds which went here, ITCZ zone will start to move towards south. Why? Sun is also moving towards the south. Now, these winds which reach there, they also move backward. And what kind of winds do you have here? Northeasterlies. And this is your ITCZ zone, if I am not wrong. Now this ITCZ zone shifts after 1 month, after 2 months, after 3 months, your ITCZ, 6 months, your ITCZ zone is here. Somewhere in the near to the equator. Now these winds, they advance. The red color winds which are there, they are advancing. And if your ITCZ zone shifted here, look, the winds of the southwest, they are only present till here. It feels as if all those winds which went to the forward side, they are moving backward. This is called as retreating. The one which went forward, it's now coming back. This is also called as, the October monsoon is also called as retreating monsoon. Now through this retreating monsoon, when your ITCZ zone is here, look, the monsoon winds will start coming from here. You have western disturbances which are present in this region, winter. And look at Tamil Nadu. Is it in the direct contact of the southwest monsoons? Sorry, northeast monsoons. So this part of India will receive rainfall to an extent in these areas, northeast also. That's why northeast is receiving rainfall from southwest monsoon and northeast monsoon also. That's why you have evergreen forests. Look at Tamil. Flooding season in Tamil Nadu, Chennai and so, October, November, December. This is the time they flood because they are getting rainfall from northeast monsoons. So the crop growing seasons of Tamil Nadu are a bit different just because they receive rainfall in this direction. Right? This is some internalities. Now last year there was a question. This is called Purvanchal. What is Purvanchal? No, what is Purvanchal? Where is Purvanchal? Eastern UP. Okay? The western part of Bihar or eastern part of UP, this is called as Purvanchal. So look at this. The monsoons that went in, do they directly go to Uttar Pradesh? First they go to northeast and then. So a person who is standing here, for him the east is this, west is this, north is this, south is this. Are these winds coming from the east to the Purvanchal? Right? बारिश के लिए wait करते हैं, and the songs, the festivals, everything is based on this rainfall, right? Your Dasara is nothing but a festival that is linked to Ram and Sita, but to the farmers it is more of an agricultural festival. So these people, they call these winds as Purvaya. Okay? Because for them it is coming from east. Purvaya. This Purvaya or Purviya is called as monsoon to them, and the celebrations of the festivals and all, they are also dependent upon this. Okay? So this is what is something which you need to know about monsoon. Yes, any monsoon, based on this monsoon patterns, you will have settlements, you will have industries, everything else. Look at this northeast. So if suppose the winds are moving, don't they get stuck here? They spend a lot of time and they hit and move in this direction because you have low pressure region here. One wing moves here, it strucks and it sheds its rainfall. That's why flooding in Brahmaputra. Now a person standing here, for him the winds are coming from the east. It is east. This is east. Right? This is your east. So that's why you will have these monsoon winds as Purvaya. So this is how your monsoonal behavior patterns will be. Western disturbances in winters, they come from here and they give rainfall to this region. Winter. Clear hai monsoon? Okay. So all these clouds which are going, they are also having a blockade from this mountains as well. So here pass is there. Can you look at this particular area? This is a pass. The monsoon winds go and they give good rainfall to this part of the areas. So passes are very important. They also allow good rainfall also. Right? Tomorrow we'll do industries. Right? No. It's not last lecture. Even if it is a last lecture, you will be informed. We'll be having mapping classes. Exclusive mapping classes for 1 week. आप जब तक ना नहीं कहते हो ना, तब तक I'll teach you mapping. You will be fed up with mapping in my mapping classes. It will be there on your fingertips. ठीक है? Because mapping in prelims will give you 7 to 9 questions. Okay? So I'll make sure your mapping is very strong, because if I start to take up the dynamic aspects now, it will be easy for you. You are now able to correlate now if I'm talking about anything in geography, or it will be easy, right? And there are few dynamic topics that we'll be doing in the mapping. I'll tell you when is the last class. If it is last class tomorrow, you'll have mapping classes. Okay? Separate mapping classes will be there. Andaman Nicobar ki islands? Not required, yaar. Just a minute. Andaman Nicobar Islands, how did they form? See, these are islands. One theory says that these are extensions of the Himalayas. That is one theory. And do you remember I told whenever there is a controversy, we need not go into that area? Why? UPSC will not ask that. So, but still, look at this is Indian plate. This is ocean. This is also ocean. Don't you think this is ocean-ocean convergence? Submergence. It got submerged. One, you get to see volcanoes. So that is how these islands got formed. It is ocean-ocean convergence islands. But there is also another theory which tells that the extension of these Himalayas, you got to see. Right? But we need not go too much into detail in learning this. Right? But geography optional, whatever we learn it with respect to the ocean-ocean convergence. And those who are interested in geography optionals, we shall be starting from next month. If you are interested in this particular subject, you can come and enroll into the classes. Okay? Or Purav Saini says, sir, what if 20 to 50 years farming is gone and the fertility of the soil for Punjab and other farmers, their land for industries? No. See, Purav, I'll discuss this tomorrow in the first half.